So yeah, I'm gonna just cut straight to it. So here lately, I've been getting woke up around the same time, about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I already know what that is. I already know what time it is. And what I mean is by I already know what time it is like I already know what type of time I'm supposed to be on when I get up, which means I need to get back into my prayers, cause lately I've been slacking. I used to wake up every day, every morning about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I would just come pray. But I fell off. And I started getting lazy. But here lately I've been getting woke up. It don't matter how you gotta wake up, you'll use the bathroom, whatever. Sometimes I just wake up to walk through the house. But anyhow, so today I decided, you know what? I need to get up and pray. I need to get back on it. I need to start being obedient and do the things that I used to do, what I know to do. So long story short, I go into prayer, and basically in a nutshell, I just go into talking about just praying and talking to God about my circumstances and everything, and just letting them know that I'm trusting them and I'm trusting the process. Because things kind of rough right now. And as I was praying, I was even telling the Lord, like, Lord, I knew my little world was getting ready to get shaken up. I was too comfortable. I was too comfortable in my situation. And it was time for me to start moving around. And I understand that comfort is the enemy to success. And it's so much more that I want to do in my life, things that I need to do in my life, things that God needs me to do. God has a will for my life, and I can't sit around stagnant and flat-footed expecting to walk in my purpose, walk in the calling that He has for my life. So you have to realize that sometimes you're going to go through hard times, trials and tribulations, but those things are ordained. It ain't the devil. Your trials and your tribulations are most likely ordained by the Most High. And it don't feel good at all. But it's a method to the madness. It's a purpose. And we don't always understand why we have to go through the things that we go through, but in the end, it all makes sense. And I was praying, telling God that, like, I kept telling myself, like, I would be at work in the truck, and I would just have a feeling like my world is getting ready to get shaken up. I know it is. It was just little signs here and there, just letting me know, like, yeah, it's getting crazy. Like, I'm about to go for a ride. I just better just sit down, buckle up, and hang on. So I was praying, as I was praying, this is what God said to me. This is what he said. When you rearrange things in your home, it looks like chaos. But once you move all the places around and place them in a different spot, things begin to start making sense. Things begin to get back in order in a different fashion. Things begin to start looking better. And once everything is set in a new place, your home looks different, even better than before, even with the same furniture. He said life is the same way. Once I finish moving everything around in your life and place certain things in order, it will all start making sense. Just trust the process. There is a method to what seems to look like madness. And once everything is set in place for you, your life will look better. Trust me just like your kids trust you. Even though they don't understand, they still trust you and they depend on you. Everything will be okay, son. Everything will be okay, son. And that hit home, man. It hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, wow, like that's exactly how things are. When you get tired of looking at something, your living room, you start moving stuff around, and you start realizing it was junk under the couch. It was stuff under the TV stand that you didn't realize was there. It was trash that been sitting around that you didn't even realize because you were just oblivious to it because you just see it every day and it just become a normal thing. So you begin to pull the couches out, pull dresses off the wall, slide them around. You start sweeping out from under there. You move the rug around. You see all the dust and stuff. You sweeping it, cleaning it up, vacuuming, you mopping. You move the couches off the wall. You sweeping behind there. You vacuuming. You taking the cushions off, getting all the crumbs and the change and toys and pencils and everything else that you find in the creases of the cushion. And that's the same way. It's the same thing what happens when God is rearranging your life. It looks like chaos. Your living room, your house looks like a bomb went through there. Everything is all over the place right now, and it don't make no sense. But in your mind, you know you getting ready to move this here, and you looking, you standing there, and you looking like, where should I put this? I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this. And then once you start doing that, and you start shaping it up to what you see in your mind, and things start to make sense. And if my kids are sitting there watching me, they probably thinking like, what's daddy doing? Like, what's he getting ready to do? Like, where he finna put this at? Where he finna put this at? I don't want him to move that. I want it to stay there because that's what I'm used to. It's just like us. We get used to things being a certain way in our lives and we get comfortable with it. And it may be your job. You might be comfortable on your job. You might be comfortable in a relationship. Just because you're comfortable with it don't mean that's how it's supposed to be. So in order for God to get you out your comfort zone, he got to shake your world up. You got to start moving stuff around. You got to start placing stuff in different areas. He got to move the couch from off the wall or wherever you got it and sweep up under there and clean it up. You got to clean up your life. Sweeping all that bad stuff, all that negativity that you was just sitting there comfortable in your mess, not even realizing. That's what God begins to do. And it seems like madness, but it's a method to it. It don't make sense to us, but God knows what He's doing. And you just gotta trust Him. You just gotta trust God. We all have to. This is the epitome of walking by faith and not by sight. That's exactly what it means. Don't focus on the way things look right now at the moment. Don't focus on those things. Don't focus on the way your bank account looking at the moment. Don't focus on the way your relationship is going at the moment. It's easier said than done because in our flesh, as a man, as a woman, as a human, as mankind, we focus on the things that are tangible because it's right there in our face. What we don't really realize is that something is happening in the spiritual realm that's taking place and it's getting ready to manifest in the flesh. Our flesh don't see what's going on. And that's where your faith comes into play. Because our flesh is what we see by sight. It's what we see when we look around. Our faith is what we believe in and what we know in the spirit. You have to walk by faith and not by sight. You have to walk by faith and not by sight. You gotta trust the process. Things might seem like chaos, but it's gonna all make sense once everything is set in place. And you be looking like, oh, okay, I see now. I see why this had to happen. I see why this had to happen. You may have got let go from your job and you wondering why. But it may very well have been a blessing in disguise. We only see from our flesh point. We only see from the now moment. And as a man that's taking care of his family, all you thinking is my kids need this, my kids need that. What am I gonna do about this? What am I gonna do about that? These bills is coming up. These bills don't stop coming. The money gotta keep coming. I gotta figure something out. What am I gonna do? Don't focus on them circumstances. Things is happening for a reason. 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be for the better. Breakthrough coming through. I was reading in the Word the other day. I think it was in Psalms. I can't remember which one. Don't quote me on it. Which chapter and verse. But he said, humility comes before honor. Humility comes before honor. Humility comes before honor comes. So you may be down and out, you may be low, you may be dry. Everything might not be looking like the way you want it to look. And that can be embarrassing. Having to ask people for help, having to ask people to loan you a couple dollars for this and that, it could be embarrassing. It ain't nothing to do with pride. It's just as being your own person and being grown, you don't want to have to be in that kind of position. Nobody wants to be in the position where they have to ask people for help. Unless you just lazy and don't care and like to mooch and leech off people. But that's the humility. And then the honor will be what manifests, the manifestation of what's happening in the spirit that's going to manifest in the flesh. That's going to be the honorable moment. Because as you're going through the trials and the tribulations, you either going to barbecue or mildew. And you got to stay strong. Steadfast. That's the word. You got to stay strong and keep doing the right thing. Keep on keeping on. And things is going to begin to turn around where you'll be back on top and even higher than what you were before you got brought down to your lowest point, to your breaking point. You'll get elevated even higher. And you'll be an honorable person. Then you'll be the lender, not the borrower. You'll be the helping hand instead of the one asking for the helping hand. Anyhow, I'm finna go back to bed, man. Stay vigilant. Keep watch. Stay in the spirit. Stay diligent. Keep working. Because when hard work meets opportunity, kick the door in. Take off with it. Whatever God is getting ready to drop in your lap, you better be ready for it. Because once you make it through the turmoil, it's always blessings on the other end. God just brings us down to a level of where we have to solely depend on Him. When ain't nothing coming through for you, everything that you're trying to do ain't working, but you staying afloat. That's God. That's God doing that. He keeping you right there. He keeping you right in that space of uncomfort, but you doing okay. And I promise, once you get to where you're going, and you look back on your situations, maybe years from now, when you look back on your situations and all the things that you've been through, you're going to be looking back, sitting there saying, man, I remember when I had to go through this. I remember when I had to go through that. You'll be glad that you went through that. You'll be glad that you pulled through that. You'll be glad that you endured to the end. you'll be thanking God. You'll be thanking God, because then that's when you're going to realize He was there the whole time, right there with you. And it'll be a testimony. And that'll be a way for you to encourage the next person that's down and out, because you'll be able to tell them what you've been through and what you had to go through and how things turned around for you in your life and got better. And you'll be able to relate that to them. Yep. But alright, I'm finna go back to bed now. Love y'all, man. Y'all stay prayed up, stay blessed, stay obedient, stay in the Word. And be blessed.